We've been lied to by the US government and the Pentagon. Now, a lot of people would say, well, there's no surprise there, and a lot of people would be like, how dare you? But it seems that that is the case. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, you need to go and check that one out before checking out this one, because there was a huge information dump made by Pentagon and Arrow, which is obviously the division for UAP phenomena. And in that report, they stated that they had no findings of alien life on Earth, no findings of reverse engineering programs, although there was one back in the 60s, and no signs of anything to do with UFOs and aliens. And it was just like, alright, sweep that under the carpet, you can all shut up now. There's no aliens, there's no UFOs, get in the bin, the lot of you, because there was obviously a lot of speculation. Well, there's been huge amounts of backlash from this report. And when I say huge, I don't put that lightly. Like, we've got Russ Colart literally spearheading through ferocity at this. We've got so many people speaking out about it, and a lot of people asking a lot more questions of the Pentagon. So this report was supposed to shut people up. It's done nothing but create more speculation, added so much more fuel to the fire, and it's created a lot more controversy than there already was. If the Pentagon had released nothing, I think it would have been a better look. But this was shared yesterday in yesterday's video, so you know, I apologise if you've already seen this, but I wanted to reshare it in case people haven't seen it yet. And this is obviously Russ Colart's take on the no evidence of alien visits claims, as he labels this a feeble attempt at a cover-up.
We have the man who did that News Nation interview with David Grush to put the story front and center for us, joining us right now, special correspondent Russ Colart. All right, Ross, I'm just going to give you the floor on this because you know far more about this than, well, certainly than me, but anybody else. This report, the headline, as Joe says, basically no evidence of aliens or any kind of cover-up of aliens. You say what?
Good evening, Connell. Well, firstly, I don't think anybody's surprised that the Pentagon is making a pronouncement like this. I'm talking to multiple people tonight, people inside the legacy retrieval program, reverse engineering program, that is being secretly operated by people within the US government and private aerospace who hoot with laughter at this feeble attempt by the Pentagon to try and stop the issue being discussed any further. We know for a fact that the Inspector General of the intelligence community, that is the oversight body for the intelligence community, separately from the Pentagon, has made a determination that David Grush's complaints are credible and urgent. And that's why they were referred to the Congress for investigation. Right. And I was only just recently in Washington talking to senior staffers, senior congressional representatives, and senior senators. And by golly, they are not letting go of this just because the Pentagon makes a pronouncement that it's not true. They know it's true. They have first-hand witnesses who've testified about it, who didn't go to Arrow, to the Defense Department, because, frankly, Connell, they didn't trust them. And that's the problem. Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, the person who created this report, it's alleged by the people I've been talking to that he set out with a preconceived agenda. And I can reveal here tonight that I've found out some of the members of a special secret advisory committee that Dr. Kirkpatrick used to advise him in the preparation of that report. I have their names, I have their roles, I know who they are. They are the gatekeepers, believe it or not, to this legacy program. Mm-hmm. They were quite literally pulling the strings on this Arrow report. And people are so angry, so bitterly angry with this feeble attempt at a cover-up that they are now leaking more assiduously to people like me, and more importantly, whistleblowers are becoming more compelled to come forward and give evidence about what they know. And if I can just make one further point. Okay. There is an executive order under your President Ronald Reagan, God bless him, back in the 1980s, this executive order 12333 banned covert actions by the US intelligence community against the American public, designed to influence American public opinion or media commentary. Now, the allegation that we now have on the books is a constitutional crisis for the United States, because you have two separate arms of government. You have the ICIG, the Intelligence Community Inspector General, saying it's true, and you've got no comment right now from the Director of National Intelligence, and you've got the Pentagon claiming it's not true. So who's lying?
What about the evidence of the program, the reverse engineering program I'm talking about? Because the way they phrased it in their description from the Pentagon was that there was no verifiable evidence for claims the U.S. government and private companies have access to or have been reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology. So they say there's no verifiable evidence. Is there?
The word is verifiable.
Right.
And the issue is, did Arrow have the will and the powers to actually kick the doors in and go and do the investigating? That didn't happen. Even the aerospace bosses who claim in the report that they've got no knowledge of extraterrestrial technology or a reverse engineering program, they haven't formally been put under oath and asked to testify under the oath that would make them commit perjury if they were lying. There's been no attempt proactively by Arrow, because they don't have the power to do this, to go into these facilities, the addresses of which, the locations of which were given to them by David Grush and other witnesses. They haven't made those inquiries. So frankly, Connell, I'm sorry to be rude to the Pentagon, but they're a complete joke on this.
Thanks so.
So, Russ Colart is very, very quickly becoming one of my most favourite people in the UFO space. Like, he is an absolute legend, just off of that interview alone. But he's not stopped there, as the Pentagon's report on UAPs has errors, which has just been discovered from News Nation. Falsehood, and this is Russ Colart once again reporting on this. Now, this is new information, so he's clearly gone away, reread through this, probably double-checked with other sources, and then cross-referenced and found some irregularities within this report that he's going to report on right here. This gets spicy.
Claims there's no evidence the U.S. government has ever encountered alien life, and most reported UFOs are misidentified ordinary objects. But journalists and experts who have spent their lives researching the subject say that's a bold-faced lie. The investigation was conducted by the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, and the report found no evidence the U.S. government has extraterrestrial technology. Investigative journalist and News Nation special correspondent Russ Colart joins us now. Ross,
look at him, man. This guy is ready for war, and
you
I'm
have
here
some strong feelings about this. You're saying AARO's report is a flat-out lie. You told our Chris Cuomo that this was all about putting a stake into the heart of continued conversation or investigation into the UAP mystery. So I'm curious, what specifically about this investigation do you believe was flawed?
Well, hello, Kelly. Good morning. Firstly, Congress mandated in legislation a history from 1945 of all of the key UAP UFO incidents in US history. That hasn't happened. What this report does is completely ignore a host of incidents, particularly ones where the military has actually investigated them, and especially ones involving UAPs seen over nuclear weapons facilities. And they've completely ignored the incident that actually kicked off the current wave of interest into the phenomenon, the 2004 Tic Tac incident off the west coast of the USA, and also the 2014-2015 incidents off the east coast. It's like these incidents never happened. And what's happened here, I think, is that the Pentagon has been so reactive to the allegation that it's involved in a conspiracy, it completely failed to do its job. And what they've produced in this report is essentially what we call in Australia a dog's breakfast. It's a complete shambles. It's full of errors. it's got falsehoods, it misrepresents incidents, and it completely ignores a whole series of incidents that are actually essential to an understanding of the history of this whole phenomena.
Well, I think you hit on it right there, Ross. You know, in terms of people feeding into these investigations, reporting their sightings, do you think this report will discourage people who have witnessed unexplained phenomena from coming forward and reporting those sightings?
No, in fact, I don't think the public's discouraged at all, Kelly. I think the Pentagon hopes that this is all going to go away and that with this report they can stentorianly declare that it's all over and everybody should go back to their little homes and forget about UFOs. I don't think that's going to happen. And what's interesting here is Congress isn't going to forget it either. Congress has realized it's having the wool pulled over its eyes by people in the Pentagon and in private aerospace. And on both sides of the House, there's a determination to investigate because a lot of witnesses didn't go to the Pentagon. They actually didn't talk to AARO, the Pentagon's UFO investigation office. They spoke directly to the Congress. And they also testified to the intelligence community inspector general, who actually found the allegations of our interview, David Grush, to be credible. And Mr. Grush was alleging a crash retrieval program and a reverse engineering program hidden within the US government and private aerospace. And that was found to be credible by the Intelligence Community Inspector General. So somebody is lying. It's either the Pentagon or it's people to Congress, and it's the Intelligence Community Inspector General. I'm pretty sure I know who is lying, and I don't think the Pentagon's going to get away with it.
All right, so your claim that the Pentagon is lying to Congress, what are the potential repercussions if that turns out to be true?
Okay, this is very important. This is actually a constitutional issue now, Kelly, because under Executive Order 12333, laid down under President Reagan, it's actually illegal for the intelligence community to run a covert action, an influence operation or a media campaign that's false to try and influence the mind of the American public. They're not allowed to run covert influence operations on American citizens. And I'm told that's exactly what they've done here. And Congress is going to investigate this. And there are people within the legacy program who want to come forward and give their evidence to Congress. I think we're going to see public hearings. I think we're going to see field hearings where senators and Congress people get out there and start asking hard questions. And more importantly, I think the public can smell a lie when they see one.
Thanks.
So obviously that was the big issue in the first place, is they didn't want people asking the hard questions, which is why they put this report to a group of cherry-picked reporters in the first place. But that's not where this ends. Absolutely not. As there was a tweet from Daniel Sheehan, who apparently, well, not apparently, he absolutely has, put down that there's some tough stuff going on. So, this tweet that he posted stated, "I am taking the extraordinary step of informing the public and the media that I personally know that Dr. Kirkpatrick and his associates at AARO are consciously lying when they falsify assert that they have been provided no sustainable evidence of the existence of a secret US government UFO crash retrieval program, because I personally provided to Dr. Kirkpatrick himself under oath the fact that I was granted access to the still classified files of the Project Blue Book related to the over 700 cases of UFO sightings that could not be rationalized as any natural phenomenon that had been simply mistakenly misidentified as a UFO, and that in that capacity I was shown by official representatives of our US government several official photographs of an active UFO crash retrieval operation." He's literally blown this case wide open. He's gone, "I see your report, AARO and Dr. Kirkpatrick. Boom! Ah! I know you're lying because I provided you all this information." He has literally blown the whistle on this. He's gone balls to the wall, blown the whistle, and it doesn't even stop there, because people are now also asking questions. If the Pentagon says that UFOs and extraterrestrials don't exist, then let the whistleblowers speak up on UAP hearings about crash and recover locations, dates, and the kinds of non-human intelligence that have visited Earth. If you say that it's not real, then it shouldn't be a problem, right? And that's exactly what it is. So the Pentagon wants to play games, so let's play games. They are contradicting themselves with saying that they don't exist, but at the same time spend millions of our tax money on development and research. Example, Project Gremlin, UFO portable detection sensor kits that Arrow acting director Timothy Phillips revealed recently. What were causing the developing and deployable configurable sensor suite that we can put in Pelican cases? Since UAP target, the signature is not clearly defined. We really have to do hyperspectral surveillance to really try and capture these incidents. And those are the hard questions that the Pentagon cannot answer right now, which is, well, if it's all nonsense, let these whistleblowers come forward. Stop trying to silence them. Let them come forward with what they know. Tell us everything, because, you know, they're just nut jobs, right? If it's all fake, they're just nut jobs. Just what harm can it do if they speak out about this? And, you know, what information have they got? What evidence have they got? Because clearly it's all fake. You've told us it's all fake. So whatever they've got, you shouldn't be silencing them. Just let them crack on. Oh, this is spicy, isn't it? This is getting juicy. This is where this is separating the boys from the men, isn't it? You know, and the ladies from the women, and the girls from the women. I don't know, whatever. I just don't want to be like non-inclusive there. But what do you make of this? Obviously, you know, someone's lying. Somewhere in this distorted story, there is someone who's not telling the truth. Someone's telling porky pies. Is it the Pentagon and Arrow in their reports? Is it these people that have stood up in Congress and sworn under oath that these events truly happened? Or is it the reporters themselves who are trying to control the narrative, supposedly? Who knows? Who knows? I think we're going to be finding out very, very soon. Russ Colart seems to have his finger on the pulse with this, and he is not stopping. He is relentless. That guy, he's going to crack that coconut, and it's going to be juicy when it happens. I cannot wait. If you have any thoughts and opinions, I would love for you to get down in the comments. Tell me everything that you think about this. Who's lying in your opinion? Tell me. While you're down there, be sure to jump the hell out of that like button if you have not already. Subscribe if you're new and tick on my little bell so you get notified whenever we upload to this channel. And until next time, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed. I cannot wait to see you in the next one, and I'll speak to you later. Peace.